Aloha, this is Brian Watkins, and this is a video to assist with the data cleaning of the accounts receivable file that I've given you in 386 for test 2. This one really tests your understanding of how to manipulate data strings. So let's go get our data. So we're going to go Data, External Data. We're going to get it from a text file. Text file is called Speed Trial Sale Data. Okay, all right, now remember we took a look at this data and we identified that it looks like it has dates in there, but there's numbers in front and there's decimals, and it's just kind of, but one thing we did notice was that every record will have one letter D in it. Okay, so that letter D is a perfect delimiter. Okay. We know that the data doesn't start with paid or not paid because the first record starts with a 1. So we're going to assume that that D is the last character of each record. And we're going to go delimited, and we're going to tell Excel to use D, which is an unusual delimiter, but it works fine. So we finish, put it right there in my worksheet at A1, and there it is. And if I go out to the end of that, FLM, let's take a look at which column I'm at. So column of FLM1 is 4,381. So now we know how many records we pulled in, and we would want to match that against what our client or the whomever was responsible for preparing the data knows. Okay, so we're going to copy it. The copy works here, but doesn't work on copy-paste from the text editor, because here I'm not copying all of the individual pieces of data. I'm only copying the program's cells, A1, B1, C1. Okay, so I'm going to paste it here, and I'm going to use paste transpose to put it all in vertical order. There we go, vertical order. All right, so let's look at this and let's figure out where should we start picking this apart. We can't say anything about the first number being a 6. I was thinking maybe split it between the date. That's not going to work. We can try to split it on the I'm looking at the first slash. That looks like it might be promising. Let's try that. So we're going to text to columns. I'm going to say delimited, and I'm going to say use that slash. And if we treat consecutive delimiters as 1, let's just leave it like that. Okay, so now when I finish, what have I got? I've got everything before the slash, middle of the slash, and out of the slash. So this would be the days. This would be the number, and whoa, look at that. I've got 2016 at the beginning of everything there. That's useful. Here I know that the first 2 belong to the customer, and the last 2, or sorry, no, the last 2. I know that 05, 04, 02. So I know the last 2 are months, so that makes this easy. I'm going to take everything but the last 2. I'm going to start from the left, and I'm going to take from A4, and I'm going to take the entire length of A4, except the last 2. So here I got 10. Next one I should get 170. Good, okay. So let's copy, and let's paste that. And what I have here is the customer number, and we've successfully extracted our first piece of data. Good. All right, now we want the month, and we want, oh, this is going to be fun. It's going to be easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the right 2 digits, which I always know, no matter how big this number is, the last 2 digits were the ones before the slash, so those are going to be my months. I'm going to concatenate a date slash, And then I'm going to concatenate everything that's in B4. Then I'm going to concatenate a date slash. And then I'm going to take the first 4 of column C. That's easy. Look at that. Because I know the first 4 digits are always going to be 2016. And look at that. Now I've got a date. Sweet. All right, that date looks consistent all the way down. So I'm going to call this sale date. Let's go down and copy. Let's go up. Let's try this again. I hit the wrong button. So let's copy this in down. Copy over that really nice formula that we came up with. Boom. Now we got the sale date. All right. Now if we look at the sale date, everything after the first 6, but before an N or a P, is our sales amount. Okay, because I know I have 4. So everything from position 5 until the first N or P is going to be my sales amount. So I'm going to do a mid, and I'm going to look at this text here, and I'm going to start at position 5. I know I'm going to start at 5 because 2016 appears all the way down. So I'm confident that my number starts at what fifth position is going to be my number. Okay, so how many characters am I going to take? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for an N. Actually, I'll probably have to look for a P and then clean this up later. Okay, so I'm going to look for the first instance of a P in the record, C4. And that, whatever the first instance is, I'm just going to pull all those cells. So there we go. I got essentially, it looks like I got rid of, oh, that was nice. Look at that. That worked pretty well, actually. So I got rid of the information before the year. That worked better than I expected. So I'm going to pause this while I look at that. Well, all I can say is that once in a while you come up with an idea better than you think. So what happened here is we're taking an extraction from C4. So there's everything we're using. We're going to start at position 5, which is always going to get rid of the 2016. And then we're going to take a number of cells that's the equivalent of the position where it finds P. So it found P at 13, but it's going to take 13 characters. So essentially, it's always going to take enough characters to cover what we need to extract from the mid. And that's how it works. Nice. Hadn't thought of that. All right, so now we need to strip off that not paid or paid. Okay, so we're going to just do an if here. And if F4, let's see, what we're looking at here is we're looking at from the right side of F4, we're going to take 7 characters. Well, if the right side 7 characters equal NOT space PAI, then we know that we have to extract from the right of F4 7 characters. And then, oh, that just gives us the end. So let's do this. Okay, take from the right. So that gives us not paid. We don't want to do that. We want to take from the left. We want to take from the left of F here everything up to the N. since we know it's not paid, there'll be an in there. F4. And then we're going to concatenate that with a space not paid. Okay. And I have to close my left function because it thinks I'm still in the left function. Okay. So now my value of true, why is it not like that? There's no comma there. All right, so we're going to take, if the right 7 is not paid, it's going to take the left, then comma. If it's false, we're going to start from the left, and we're going to look for the P. And we're going to take everything, the P, F4. Actually, we want the P minus 1. Okay, so we want the N minus 1. Okay, so our final there, if we close this, we have to make sure and concatenate it with a space paid. That's better. All right, so let's take a look. 763 not paid. Paid, paid, not paid. Everything is good there. Okay, what we're going to do is change this just a bit so that it either says not or it says paid. And I'm doing that because that will allow me to make a much easier, so I'm going to take that out there. Okay, so now what it's going to do, it's either going to say not or it's just going to be a number. And I need that so that I can do data, text to columns. Whoops, finish. Here, let's make it even clearer. I'm going to make this say not or paid. But the goal here of this formula is to make sure that I only have one space in my data records. Okay, so when I take this, I'm going to copy, paste values over it, and then I'm going to do text to columns. It's delimited by a space. Take off that L and finish. So now I have my actual amounts. So copy those amounts, paste them on top of each other, and this is the sale amount. Okay, and then my status, that's really easy to fix up. And I'm going to fix it up because I want my pivot table to say paid or not paid. So I'm just going to look back here, and if that says not, then I'm going to replace it with not space paid. Otherwise, I'm just going to leave it paid. So now I'm going to have a not paid, 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 paid. So I'm going to copy this over that, and now I can start getting rid of stuff. So now that I'm done, I'm going to delete the first there. That's just data. That's just data. That's just data. Okay, so I can get rid of these two columns. I can get rid of that column. I can get rid of the C column. And I have status there, and I can get rid of E. And with a little bit of cleaning up here, okay, that's my input data. All right. Now, there's going to be some other things that we need to do to get this ready to go, but I'll make those the subject of a second video. But just so you understand, if you can strip down to this data right away, you're good. One last thing we can do, all of our text manipulations left our numbers as text strings. So I'm going to make that value and paste those back as numbers. So I'm going to delete that. Okay, so now we've got our sale amount, which is also text. Okay, so we probably want to take the sale amounts and make those values, but we also want, we'll format them as dollars. How's that? So they're numbers, but they'll have a currency. So I'm going to copy and paste those. Okay, so those are numbers now. And let's add a space here so that we can go off to our customer master list and get that. So you'll need a customer master list to do the next part. And what you're going to do here is you're going to use customer name. But just a word to the wise, don't pull the name in first name, last name. You're going to have to rearrange it so it goes last name, comma, first name. That way, but you just try it. You'll see why as you do it. But we're going to have the customer name come in, and we want to make sure that our report, the AR report that we're going to print for somebody, prints either alphabetically based on last name or by customer number. The problem with ordering things by the first name is that you're going to have multiple customers with the same first name. So just keep it business friendly. Make it last name, comma, first name. And I'll do another video for that. I hope this was helpful. And I note that this is 16, 17 minutes. You probably get it down to 10 because I'm stopping and figuring things out as I go along. So good luck, and I'll see you later in class.